Welcome to Awaken and Achieve. Here, we share timeless wisdom to help you live with clarity, peace, and purpose. Today's teaching is simple, yet life-changing. When you stop caring, life begins to flow naturally. When you stop caring about every little thing, something magical happens. Life begins to flow naturally. Your heart feels lighter. Your mind feels clearer. And suddenly, peace is no longer something you chase. It is something you live. This is the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. A wisdom that teaches us freedom begins when we let go. The weight we carry. Every day, without even noticing, we carry invisible weights. We worry about the mistakes we made yesterday. We feel anxious about the future that hasn't even arrived. We compare ourselves to others, wondering if we are good enough. And we cling tightly to people, things, and outcomes, as if holding on could protect us from change. But this constant holding, it is exhausting. It makes the heart heavy. It steals the joy from the present moment. Buddhism teaches us a simple truth. Attachment is the root of suffering. Think about it. When we cling to success, failure feels unbearable. When we cling to approval, criticism cuts us deeply. When we cling to people, their absence breaks us completely. The more we hold on, the heavier life feels. And this weight doesn't allow us to move freely. We get stuck in fear, stuck in regret, stuck in endless what-ifs. But the truth is, life is always changing. Nothing is permanent. And when we carry the weight of clinging, we are fighting against the very nature of life itself. The first step to freedom is recognizing this weight and being willing to put it down. What letting go really means. When people hear the words "let go," they often think it means giving up. But that is not true. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you stop loving. It does not mean you stop trying. It means you release the need to control what is beyond your control. It means you stop forcing life to move according to your will, and instead you learn to trust the natural rhythm of life. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." When you cling to the outside world, to possessions, to achievements, to people's opinions, you are tying your peace to something unstable. And because everything in life is changing, your peace will always feel fragile. But when you let go of that clinging, a shift happens. You no longer chase happiness outside of you. You find it within you. And this happiness is steady, unshakable. Letting go is not weakness. It is strength. Because it takes courage to accept uncertainty. It takes wisdom to trust life's flow. And it takes deep faith to believe that, even when things fall apart, you are still whole. So remember, to let go is not to lose. To let go is to finally be free. Flow like water. Look at a river. The water does not fight against the rocks. It does not complain about the path. It does not resist where it is going. It simply flows. Over time, even the hardest stone is shaped by its gentle persistence. Not by force, but by flow. This is the way of life. When we fight against change, we suffer. When we try to force everything into our control, we struggle. But when we live like water, we discover freedom. Water adapts. It takes the shape of whatever holds it. It bends, it moves, it finds a way forward. And yet, it never loses its true nature. Buddhism reminds us to live like this, to stop clinging to the rigid idea of how life should be, and instead flow with how life really is. When storms come, water does not resist. It moves with the waves. And when the storm passes, the river is still there, calm and steady. Life will always bring challenges. But if you learn to flow like water, you will not be broken by them. You will bend, you will adapt, and you will continue to move forward with peace. The secret is simple. Do not resist life. Do not fight the current. Just flow. Practical wisdom. Wisdom is only real when it becomes part of your life. So how do we practice letting go? How do we live with flow like water? Here are a few simple, practical ways. Release the need for perfection. So much stress comes from trying to be flawless. But perfection is an illusion. Instead of asking, "Is this perfect?" ask, "Is this enough for now?" When you accept imperfection, you create space for peace. Stop living for the opinions of others. No matter what you do, not everyone will approve. Buddhism teaches, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. When you let go of what others think, you reclaim your freedom. Breathe into the present moment. Most of our worries live in the past or the future, but life is happening here and now. Take a deep breath. Notice the sounds around you. Feel the ground beneath your feet. This moment is enough. This moment is peace. Trust the rhythm of life. Just like the seasons change, life also has its ups and downs. Summer is followed by autumn. Night is followed by day. Your life, too, will always keep moving. When you trust this rhythm, you stop forcing and you begin to flow. Practice gentle detachment. Love people deeply, but don't cling. Enjoy what you have, but don't fear losing it. Hold everything with open hands, because what is truly meant for you will never pass you by. Letting go is not something you do once. It is a daily practice. Each day you release a little worry. Each day you loosen your grip. And slowly, your life begins to feel lighter, freer, and more natural. The freedom of letting go. When you finally let go, something beautiful happens. The noise in your mind begins to quiet. The endless struggle begins to soften. And in that stillness, you discover a freedom that was always within you. This freedom is not about escaping life. It is about living life fully, without chains, without fear, without constant resistance. You begin to see clearly. The past no longer controls you. The future no longer terrifies you. And the present moment becomes enough. Buddhism teaches, you only lose what you cling to. When you stop clinging, you don't lose yourself. You find yourself. You begin to live like water, flowing, adapting, moving forward with peace. Life still brings storms, but you are no longer broken by them. You bend, you shift, and you return to stillness. This is the freedom of letting go. Not the end of caring, but the beginning of living. The illusion of control. One of the greatest causes of human suffering is the illusion of control. We wake up each day trying to shape the world exactly as we want it. We want people to behave according to our expectations. We want circumstances to unfold the way we planned. We want the future to follow the map we've drawn in our mind. But the truth is, life does not obey us. The weather changes without our permission. People come and go, regardless of our wishes. Even our own body one day grows old and frail, no matter how tightly we hold on. Buddhism teaches us this simple truth. Pain is certain, but suffering is optional. We cannot avoid every challenge, but we can choose how we meet it. We cannot control the waves, but we can learn to surf upon them. When you cling to control, every unexpected turn feels like failure. But when you release control, every moment, whether pleasant or painful, becomes a teacher. Imagine holding sand in your hand. The tighter you grip it, the more it slips away. But when you hold it gently, it rests easily in your palm. Life is the same. Control is an illusion, but acceptance is freedom. When you stop fighting against life, you begin to move with it. And in that movement, you discover peace. Finding joy in simplicity. Happiness is not hidden in grand achievements or distant dreams. It is often waiting quietly in the simple moments of life. Look at a child laughing at something small and silly. Look at the morning sun painting the sky with colors. Listen to the sound of rain falling softly on the earth. These simple things are not extraordinary, and yet they carry extraordinary peace. The Buddha taught that craving creates suffering. We suffer when we always want more wealth, more recognition, more control. But joy does not live in more. Joy lives in enough. Think of how light you feel when you pause to drink a warm cup of tea, or when you sit quietly under a tree, or when you share a kind smile with someone passing by. These moments are pure because they are free from clinging. Buddhism reminds us, if you are not content with what you have, you will never be content with what you wish to have. Simplicity is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is seeing beauty in the ordinary. It is finding peace not in the next thing, but in this moment, here and now. So slow down. Look around you. Notice the small joys that life is quietly offering, because often it is in simplicity that the deepest happiness is found. Detachment and love. Many people misunderstand detachment. They think it means turning cold, not caring, or pushing people away. But in Buddhism, detachment is not the absence of love. It is the purification of love. When we cling to someone, we say, "I need you to make me happy." This is not love, it is attachment. And attachment often brings fear. Fear of losing them, fear of change, fear that they will not meet our expectations. But true love does not chain. True love sets free. Detachment allows us to love without fear. It allows us to give without demanding, to care without controlling, to hold without clinging. The Buddha taught, to love without attachment is to know true freedom. Imagine holding a butterfly. If you clutch it tightly, you harm it. But if you hold it gently, it stays freely on your hand. This is the nature of love with detachment. It does not suffocate. It breathes. It does not demand. It accepts. Detachment does not make love weaker. It makes love stronger because it is no longer based on fear. It is based on freedom, trust, and compassion. So love deeply, care sincerely, but do not cling. For love, when set free, becomes the purest joy of all. The practice of mindful letting go. Letting go is not something we do once. It is a practice, something we return to day after day, moment after moment. You can begin right now. Wherever you are, gently close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep, slow breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine releasing one small worry. Could be a regret from yesterday. Could be a fear about tomorrow. Or it could simply be the weight of wanting things to be different than they are. Let it go just for this breath. Buddhism teaches us that mindfulness is the key to freedom. Mindfulness does not erase problems. It changes how we hold them. When you notice a thought rising, instead of chasing it or fighting it, simply watch it. See it as a cloud moving across the sky. It comes, it goes, and you remain at peace. Each day you can practice small acts of letting go. Release the tension in your body with a deep breath. Release harsh words before they leave your lips. Release expectations when life moves differently than planned. Letting go is not about rejecting life. It is about receiving life without resistance. So breathe again. Inhale deeply, hold gently, and as you exhale, feel a little more free than you did before. This is mindful letting go. Simple, gentle, transformative, living in flow. When you begin to let go, life no longer feels like a battle. It feels like a river. There are bends you cannot see. There are rocks you cannot predict. And sometimes the waters rise in storms. But the river always finds its way forward. Living in flow means trusting this. It means understanding that life has its rhythm, its seasons of growth, its seasons of loss, its seasons of stillness. When you cling, you resist the natural current. When you let go, you move with it. Living in flow does not mean life will always be easy, but it means you will no longer be broken by its challenges. You bend, like the bamboo in the wind. You adapt, like water finding its path. And in that flexibility, there is strength. Buddhism teaches us, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, life cannot exist without change. To live in flow is to embrace change, to accept uncertainty, and to trust that every moment, pleasant or painful, is part of your path. This is true freedom. Not the freedom to control life, but the freedom to live fully within it. So let yourself flow. Trust the river, and you will find peace, not someday in the future, but here right now in this very breath. So remember this, life is not meant to be forced. It is meant to be lived, with openness, with flow, with trust. When you stop clinging, you stop suffering. When you let go, you create space for peace to enter. And when you flow like water, life carries you where you are meant to be. This is the wisdom of Buddhism. Freedom is not found in holding on. Freedom is found in letting go. So today, put down one small weight. Release one small worry. And notice how light your heart feels. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this teaching touched your heart, share it with someone who needs peace today. And if you are new here, subscribe to Awaken and Achieve for more timeless wisdom in simple English to help you live with clarity, peace, and purpose. Until next time, breathe deeply, let go gently, and flow naturally with life.